Looks like we're about to go play paintball. Alright, first I'm going to teach you guys exactly how I approach map room from the tech house side. So I don't run down the stairs immediately, I jump onto the generators and then I run over to the ramp while I free look the door. So it's harder for anyone holding map room to tell exactly where you are. At this point we're going to take quick peeks from different angles. We can run side to side, jump side to side. We want to evaluate the map room as much as we can before we actually go for it. Now this bench is a Salewa spawn, so keep that in mind early wipe. Also another thing in map room, there's this little divot right here that you can hold. If you're running through map room from this direction and you hear someone about to peek you suddenly, you can always hide in that little divot just to have some sort of cover. Now making our way over to the sandbag side, always check the ramp and the stairs. The audio is busted in this area. I even always make sure I shut the door. If you are standing right here in the sandbags, you will not hear anyone on that staircase or the ramp, so you need to be very careful. Now to peek the generator side, I like to jump across the doorways like so, back and forth. The way I do this is you bunny hop forward and then you hold down S and immediately jump backwards, and you can continuously jump forwards and backwards. It's very helpful. Whenever someone's holding you, it makes your movements very erratic. And then if I'm in a gunfight, always make sure if you're holding sandbags, shoot out the lights. It makes it a lot harder for the opponents to see you. Now you don't want to shoot out the light above that stairway there. It doesn't really bleed into the sandbag area, but it makes it just a little bit easier to see if anybody's opening that door and peeking through. Now on the generator side, if you shoot that little light out, I find it slightly easier to see. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. This scab walked down the staircase. I had no idea he was there. Sometimes when you get this heating pipe spawn, Gluhar can spawn right here at the K buildings or on top of the hermetic bunker. So if this happens to you, especially early wipe, do not panic. Hide behind this truck or wherever you can get some cover. Throw your grenade. You always need to have at least one grenade on this map. Then we're going to run back to the next piece of hard cover. We're going to hang out for a second. Gluhar's guards like to hold you at mid-range. We just can't make any mistakes right now. We just have to keep moving from cover to cover. We are going to get shot up a little bit, but just keep moving and then stick to cover and pause. At this point, we need to make a break for it across this opening. So we're going to throw a second grenade. This is why I say at least 2 grenades on this map. And then we're able to get to cover. At this point, you're able to run away and survive Gluhar. You can fight him from the K buildings, but ultimately you just need to get out of spawn. You can either go do your tasks, or you can go actually hunt Gluhar, or whatever you need to do in your raid. You do not want to get caught lacking by Gluhar. He will smoke you. Now, I often do not stand on top of the K buildings when I fight Gluhar, because if you make a mistake like I did here, and you overexpose yourself, you're just gonna have the boss looking up at you and he's gonna smack you. If you're looking to actually hunt Gluhar himself, I would recommend, especially early wipe, do nighttime raids. You can get access to night vision pretty quick. I've done night raids on the first 2 days of wipe before. It's not impossible. You wanna do this so you minimize the player scavs. Reserve is crawling with player scavs all the time. Now, you just need to peek this door right there. You will often find most of them just standing in the hallway. Do not overextend. Do very quick peeks. As you can see here, they shot me when I was only exposed for a couple seconds. So you need to make sure you're doing very quick and short peeks. Sprint, look from cover to cover. It seems like I killed Gluhar and most of his guards just from that little burst. It just takes a couple bursts, even using this terrible FMJ ammo that only pins level 2 and 3. To kill Gluhar. Most of the time his guards are not wearing face shields, and Gluhar never has a face shield, so as long as you're aiming for the throat and the face, you will kill them no matter what. Now if you're hitting them in the body, you're probably screwed early wipe, but that kind of goes with everything. When you need to heal back up into the RBST building and pick a good corner to sit in, This way you can listen out for any players approaching, and you have plenty of time to react if one of Gluhar's scout guards begins to push you. The way Gluhar works, he has 6 guards, 2 scouts, 2 assaults, and 2 close quarters bodyguards. The 2 scouts are the lower tier guys. They have worse armor, worse guns, but they full sprint at you, and they will do that within a large radius around Gluhar. His assault guards kind of hang out more mid-range. They're the guys that are really pounding you from through doorways. And the CQB scout guys are the guys using like belt-fed machine guns, and they stand right next to Gluhar, and they have really big helmets most of the time. Those guys you really need to be careful for. However, they're not very mobile, so you're able to just fight them across hallways like I am here. Something interesting that I myself recently learned about Gluhar is that once you kill the man himself, his guards don't really care anymore. They don't work together very well, and they just kind of hang out and do their own thing. At this point, Gluhar is dead, so I can treat these guys just like they're any other raider or scav. They're not going to do anything too tactical or too insane. They're just going to shoot you in the face if they see you like any other bot. Alright, here's some action that you're waiting to see. This raid was a little bit scuffed. I spawned at the scav house. This clip starts just a minute into the raid. We were getting shot at by Gluhar from school, and then immediately I got pinned down by a PMC. So I retreated back into the scav house. My teammate had been sniped by Gluhar, and I get pushed by a PMC. This is textbook from Arena. If you've seen any of my Arena videos, I promise they will resume soon if you're wondering. You don't necessarily need meta kit to do this, you just need to have something decent. Peek, re-peek. At this point, Gluhar is actually running to me. Now, a guard snuck up on me with no audio cues. I'm going to hang back, I see him through the window, I'm going to shoot him a little bit. Then I'm going to run, free look, he misses me. Then I can take a left shoulder swap, pop him in the face, it's over. Now I'm going back to looking for an angle on Gluhar. This is a trick that I learned from fighting the rogues. If you slow lean through door cracks, the AI is slow about reacting to you, and you can often get the first shot and win the fight immediately. At this point, Gluhar is down. I have a bunch of loot available to me. I just need to play it slow and not get destroyed by the last few guards. Once Gluhar dies, like I've said before, it's much easier to fight the guards. They don't really care about pushing you anymore, so you can take it slow. With Gluhar, he has a lot of guards. You need to take it slow. If you sprint too far forward and overextend, they will clap you. There's so many of them. They're very accurate. They all have very good ammo. They all have grenades. They all have a lot of armor and health. You don't want to mess up big time. You will win against Gluhar if you have some patience and some finesse. This is a generic reserve tip. There's a lot of loot all over the place. There's a lot of containers and a lot of loose loot spawns. Look in areas that you don't necessarily expect there to be a whole lot of loot, but it still would make sense for something to be there. For example, in the tents, in the tech house building, in the gym, these tents here, they spawn food and they spawn a couple other goodies. So early wipe as you're moving around the map, definitely always double check here. You can get some ammo, you can get some duffel bag loot, you can get some food, you can even get some sugar. So, on reserve in particular, you should have a full backpack every single raid, because there's so much loose loot everywhere. This isn't the only spawn, there's a lot of them. Just look around the map, you'll find something laying around. This here is a piece of advice that really applies to solo players, or perhaps you just really do not want to die. When you get some of these outside spawns where you're way on the edge of the map, like up on Dome, especially if you have a scope, just take a second. There's nothing wrong with hanging around your spawn for 3 minutes or so. I'm not saying rat and extract camp and all that BS. I'm saying if you slow down, take a few minutes to scope out where you are, what's around you, where the gunfights are happening, where the people are, and then formulate a plan. For instance, here I decided I wanted to go to the RBST and the night buildings. I'm gonna sit here for a minute. I'm gonna use my scope to look around. Is the boss at night buildings? Is the boss at K buildings? Is there anybody camping an obvious spot on the roof? Are there scavs along my way? Where's my cover? Always double check where your routes of egress are, meaning as you're running to your objective, if you get shot at, where can you go to hide from the bullets? Where's your cover? Where can you fight from? If you just take a minute, plan out a rough route, and then follow it, especially if you make this a two-step process. One, a super high and far away spot like on top of the hill, and then run forward about 100 meters, look around a second time, and then commit to running down to the night buildings. This will really save you a lot of the time. You do not even realize how much stuff you are missing in Tarkov until you just sit and look around for a minute. Be calm and calculated before you just start running around all willy-nilly. If you're watching this video, you're probably not landmark, so don't just W key the whole raid. It's okay to stop, look, listen, and smell. A final little nugget of wisdom I have for reserve is that you should not back yourself up into a corner. There's a lot of buildings, a lot of rooms, and a lot of corners in reserve. Especially if you're solo, do not back yourself up into a corner. In this clip, I was hunting this guy down because I heard him doing surgery. I shot him through the doorway because it made sense in my mind that he'd be hiding right behind the doorway. And lo and behold, this idiot was literally just standing behind the doorway when there were 7 bodies right in front of it. Do not back yourself up into a corner. Always allow yourself room to move away from contact. Always allow yourself a chance to get the hell out of Dodge. Reserve is probably the best map for solo players. You just have to take advantage of all the different ways to get in and out of a fight. This wasn't exactly how I wanted to take this video, however, the wipe snuck up on me really fast. I still hope you got some value from this. My intention was for my Reserve and Gluhar guide to be a rough survival guide for early wipe, so as you get to your bunker task line, you're not completely clueless. If you didn't notice, I have a brand new microphone setup. If you like the audio, if you like this new audio, please let me know in the comments. If you want me to change the EQ or any of the settings, also let me know in the comments. If you couldn't tell, I was making this video at midnight, right before the patch notes go live. If you're seeing this video, I should also have my patch notes video up within the next hour and a half or so. Definitely go check that out. The wipe is today. Big excitement. I wanted to go ahead and get this video out. It's not perfect, but thanks for sticking around. I'll catch you guys again here soon. Thanks for hanging out with me today.